Hello there, thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today, and I'm Pete Howard. And boy, what can you say, huh? The name says it all. That's it, baby. That is it. 1965 and the Fab Four's last ever appearance in their hometown of Liverpool, England. This is just a beautiful, original 30 by 40 inch paper concert poster that pretty much has it all. Everything you'd want in a poster. Of course, the Beatles is everything you'd want in any kind of concert poster, but you know, it's got it's from Liverpool, it's got Brian Epstein's name on it, it's got photos of the Beatles on there, it's got, you know, bright colors with blue and red, it's got the beautiful size, and oh, did I mention yet the opening act, the Moody Blues. Wow, just, oh boy, what a masterpiece this is. And of course, a lot of Beatles UK concert posters have been bootlegged to death and printed after the fact, but this is an absolute guaranteed original printed before the show in order to sell tickets. Although, you know, that brings up another thing. They didn't need this thing to sell tickets. I sort of wonder if maybe it was possibly a vanity piece by, you know, Epi, Brian, and I doubt if the Beatles were involved, but you know, such a proud thing to show off to Liverpool. You know, in 1965, the Beatles truly on top of the world. And you know, concert posters were considered a marketing expense, and for heaven's sake, the Liverpool Empire held only 2,500 people, and they got 40,000 requests for tickets. And so the poster really made no difference at all in the selling of tickets for this show. So, you know, perhaps in the kindest, gentlest way, an ego-gratifying poster for Epstein. I don't know. I don't want to put it all on him either. I'm sure the Beatles enjoyed seeing their faces. And I mean, remember on this poster, 3 years earlier, everybody was just scraping by. And Epstein was working at his, you know, his family business, running the record division, and then opening his own NEMS music stores and so forth. But I don't know. Who knows why? It definitely was not needed to sell the show out. But, you know, the story behind it, we can only conjecture and speculate, but I'll tell you one thing, it's all good. Nobody knew at the time, by the way, this was going to be the last ever Beatles concert in Liverpool. Not to mention their last ever UK tour, right? I mean, this was it, so nobody really knew that. And for that reason, the fact nobody knew, the set list did not reflect it at all. The Beatles made no attempt at a greatest hits set. They played nothing from 63, you know, barely anything from 64, nothing from A Hard Day's Night, and not to mention 0 cover versions which they cut their teeth on in Liverpool from 60 to 63, all those great twist and shouts and everything, you know. So, I don't know, it's a bit of a sad occasion in retrospect. It was their last show, but just makes the poster all the more fun and historical. It was actually, of course, not a one-off show. This was a cookie-cutter, as far as the song list is concerned, sort of a cookie-cutter tour. They did play 9 concerts, and they played the same songs at all 9 concerts on this brief UK tour, so nothing customized, if you will, for the Liverpool audience. They played the A and the B sides of 3 recent singles, I Feel Fine and She's a Woman, Help, and I'm Down, closing the show with I'm Down, which was typical, and We Can Work It Out, and Day Tripper, which was actually a double A-sided single and their newest one. Interestingly, the Beatles chose to bypass Ticket to Ride, big hit from earlier in 65. Now, great timing in the Beatles' career, but then what isn't? Right, what isn't? 2 days earlier, on the Friday, the Rubber Soul album was released. And from that album, they did Nowhere Man, and George got his turn singing If I Needed Someone. And the previous LP, Help, from that summer, they did 2 songs. Ringo got his turn on Act Naturally, and Paul did Yesterday solo. And the one oddball out that I haven't mentioned yet from any source is Babies in Black, from Beatles for Sale from late 64. Now, this was supposedly a tour blank. All these 40 by 60 inch and 30 by 40 inch UK concert posters were, with, of course, the information stripped in along the top. And again, I don't know if they made them for any other shows. It does say up there in the red, as you can see, Empire Liverpool, with the phone number. Boy, that phone must have been busy with 40,000 ticket receipts. I can't imagine. They must have rued the fact they put the phone number on there. And then manager Neil Brooks. Sunday, 5th of December, 1965, fun to have the year on there, 5:40 and 8 o'clock, interestingly using just 1 0 on the 8 o'clock. And you've got Arthur Howes on there, a huge British promoter, and Brian Epstein's name as discussed. That's kind of a funny picture of John. You can see there you've got Ringo looking at Paul with those floating headshots, and George looking at John. And boy, then you've got the Beatles, which just cannot get much bigger, can it? Just, wow, huge action letters, really beautiful. And then, as I mentioned, you've got plus the Moody Blues on there. And of course, that was Mach 1, if you will, of the Moodies, the Go Now Moody Blues with Denny Laine, a future member of Wings, and Justin Hayward was a pre-Justin Hayward and John Lodge era. But still, let's not forget the Moodies sold 70 million albums in their career, so it's amazing to have them on there. And then it does say plus other acts and so forth, but those other acts, I can tell you real quickly, were the Paramounts, which would morph into Procol Harum, the Marionettes, an African-American pop soul vocal group, the Kubas from Liverpool, and McCartney actually jumped on stage at one of the two shows and played drums on Dizzy Miss Lizzy with the Kubas. Then you've got an 18-year-old female singer, Beryl Marsden, and Liverpool soul singer Steve Aldo with her. Now I should point out for those who love the details, way down in the lower left-hand corner, you can't possibly read it, it does say Electric Modern Printing Company Limited, Manchester 8. So printed over in Manchester, parallel with Liverpool, up there in northern England. England has two syllables, Pete. So, just 3 days after the show, their new single, We Can Work It Out, and Day Tripper entered the charts at #1. And just 3 weeks later, after this show, on Christmas Day, George Harrison proposed to Pattie Boyd. Aw, isn't that sweet? And as a matter of fact, Pattie Boyd attended the show, as you would very well guess, and I've got this picture of Pattie showing up with George Harrison's parents. This is before the show, at the very show of this concert poster, so that's a great fun visual aid. The Beatles in 1965, it could have been a 5-second video, that's all I have to say, and the poster speaks for the rest. Awesome piece, and total genuine original. Thanks a lot for dropping by. Whew, whatever I come up with next, it won't be as big or as awesome as this, but hopefully it'll be some fun. Thanks a lot for dropping by, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.